This Girls Only Overlanding series is a story of my adventure to take our Jeep from Florida to Idaho and back. It all started with an invitation from the Teton Overland Show to showcase Valkyrie and her overlanding setup. A few other ladies wanted to join me, and before long, a small group of us were making plans and packing up our gear for what would become an 18-day, 5,000-mile adventure. We were excited and looking forward to our trip, but we had absolutely no idea what was in store for us. Well, good morning. Today's the day. Finally is here, and I have to say, leaving my husband was wicked emotional. Not gonna lie, I was not liking that part at all. We go everywhere together, and this is going to be the first time we've really been apart for more than a girls' night out. So this is going to be different. We are all gassed up at Wawa and about to hit the road. We're making our little Instagram post, so make sure you follow us along as we make this journey across country. Follow us here, and you can also follow us over at Campfires and Fireflies. That's Vanessa's channel, and see what she has to say about the situation. We're about 45-50 minutes or so into our first girls only across country road trip, and while it's exciting, I'm also nervous and anxious. I definitely hated leaving David this morning. That was way more emotional than I thought it was going to be. I knew I was going to be upset to leave him, but whew, man, that hit me like a brick wall. At any rate, we are cruising through all this wonderful Florida road construction, so that's awesome. Not too far from getting on the I-4 from the turnpike, so pray that we have a safe journey and that we see some cool stuff and the vehicles ride well and everyone stays healthy.
3 hours later.
So we just stopped for lunch at this super cute little spot called Alabama Pecan Company. It was awesome. I mean, I'm full as a dog tick right now. My goodness, we had a lunch special. It was like $10.99. You got a giant barbecue sandwich with coleslaw on top, pickles, and a side, which I got fried okra. We got an appetizer of fresh fried green tomatoes. Oh my God, they were amazing. And then they have a cute little shop where you can buy like different pecan types of things. Chocolate covered, white chocolate covered, candied, sugared, you name it, they had it. Yes, I got some. I got the pecan praline because I love those pecan pralines, let me tell you. Woo, especially when we go to Savannah and they make them fresh. Woo. Love it, love it, love it. So we have about 2 hours-ish before we get to camp. We're just kind of, I don't know, taking it easy after lunch, only because we were clicking along pretty good on the highway, and then neither one of us realized that the time changed, so we can't go into camp until 4, so we had to kind of dial it down just a little bit. So in a couple of hours we'll be at camp, and we get to set up camp by ourselves for the first time ever, except for our practice, which doesn't count, on our first night of our road trip across country. So I'll try to get some video of that, and so you guys have something to laugh at later. All right, peace. Okay, here I go. I'm gonna set up the tent for the first time. Hey guys, look what we did. First time by yourself, for real. In the nature, at the park, day 1. Us girls did it. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm sitting here having my breakfast, my lovely mush oats. Horrible name, but I mean, it gets the point across, right? And thanks to Starbucks espresso shots, because I did not feel like setting up, and there's a bee flying around. I did not feel like setting up and making regular real coffee, so I'm having that instead. We had a good night's sleep last night at Isaac Creek Campground. I look away to see if Vanessa's going to remind me what I just asked her 30 seconds ago, the name of this campground.
What?
Yeah.
What was I supposed to remember?
Oh, anyway. So, yeah, we had a good night's sleep, aside from all the people whatever, coming in and out and critters running around and shit falling from the sky on my tent. So we did a little tour of the campground last night. This is actually a really nice campground. It, like as a Army Corps of Engineer, there's a lot of great sites. Most of them are waterfront. There are some interior sites that are just as nice. Great for RVs, tents, large families. There's 2 playgrounds, 2 bathhouses, 2 volleyball courts, a basketball court, horseshoe pits. There's a mud pit if you're into mud wrestling. The showers were great, super hot water, nice and clean. Everybody here is wicked friendly. We just really enjoyed our stay here last night. Waterfront property, which is my favorite. Sorry, thanks to Vanessa for booking this site and booking our other site for tonight. Where are we staying at again tonight?
Somewhere in Louisiana.
We're staying somewhere in Louisiana. That narrows it down. I don't care. I'm following tour guide Barbie. There's tour
guide Barbie.
See.
We're staying near water again.
We're staying near water again, which is my favorite.
Per the request of Miss Tiffany.
Yes, per my request. And she's a fan of staying by the water as well.
I
so
am.
as long as there's not gators, we're good with staying by the water. So
Well, I can't guarantee that in Louisiana.
oh shit, that's right. Okay, so on that note, forget that. I did fly the drone this morning. That was freaky, but I did it and I got it back. I didn't crash it into the water. So today is another kind of a drive day. This is day 2. We don't have any special stops or any sites that we were going to see in particular today, just the sites along the way to our next campground, which is Beaver Dam Campground. It's in Louisiana, I think Benton, Louisiana, or Louisiana, however you want to say it. So we should be there in probably 6 hours, 5.5, 6 hours. Well, we'll probably stop and get some lunch or whatever, but I don't know. We'll see. We had a good night's sleep last night. Fairly decent, I should say. The campground was great. Has nice hot showers, has a laundry right on the water, nice large sites. Highly recommended if you're ever in the neck of the woods of Isaac Creek Campground in Alabama and you're looking for a place to stay. It's run by the Army Corps of Engineers, so it's a pretty decent campground. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Hey guys, okay, so we had to take an emergency exit off of the highway because of an accident. It was blocking the highway. So my GPS had rerouted us for that, and Vanessa's had not yet, and she was ahead of me. So I'm like, you got to take this exit. She's like, no, we got to keep going straight. And I'm like, okay. And then she saw the traffic stop, and she's like, all right, let's take that exit. But she wasn't able to make the next turn that came immediately afterwards. So she turned right, I went left, I turned around, came back to get her, and she's like, holy, look at where I'm at. Look at that stone archway. What is this place? So I come over, we're checking it out, and it's Vicksburg National Military Memorial. So it's this really cool military memorial, I guess, where the Confederate Army and the Union Army were fighting. We're going to have to do our research on this. But we're like kids in a candy store right now. We're so freaking excited. This is not what we had planned, but we're going to do it. So it's a drive-through tour. It's like 15 miles long, and we're going to stop and see some really cool stuff. And Vanessa's wicked excited.
I'm like a child. I'm so excited. I think like I scared the old ladies in there. They're like, what are you so excited about?
I think they thought we might be high or on drugs or I don't know, but we were excited as if we just walked into a toy store and we were 5 years old. So we're like, yay, something cool. And we didn't know it was here. And it's military.
Oh, I smell it.
And
roll down these windows, please.
and for whatever reason, I have a gas leak. The natural gas smell that was coming out of my car, we're like, there shouldn't be any smell like that in here. And we searched everywhere. I had my head under the passenger seat trying to check all the connections for my onboard air compressor. I was up under the vehicle seeing if my catalytic converter came detached. And we were calling the hubbies going, oh my God, what could this be? We've thought of everything. We checked the propane, but I have those green canisters. There's no valves on there, so there's no reason why they should leak, but I checked them anyway. Everything I could possibly think of that had any type of gas or whatever and couldn't figure it out. Then I'm freaking out. Vanessa's freaking out because it's in my Jeep. Like when you open the door, you can smell it pretty bad. And it just like started. It hadn't been like that at all until we got to Vicksburg. And she was afraid I was going to like succumb to the fumes or whatever and then pass out at the wheel. And at any rate, after pulling half the stuff out of the Jeep, I found the culprit. So what that was actually diff fluid that I had brought. The reason why I brought that is because rewind back to the trip that David and I just came off of. My rear end had to be completely redone again. It was done the week before I left, or we left, for our cross-country trip that was 57 days. And then it went out again. So it was the Yukon gears. It was just ate up. So anyways, twice now I've had that rear end rebuilt. And so I just brought a bottle of diff fluid just in case I had a leak or whatever. So when we had to make that emergency yeet off the highway because of the accident that was there and traffic and everything, and then I had to do this whoop-de-doo through this deep mud hole to turn around and get back to Vanessa, who had pulled into Vicksburg. Apparently, that bottle wasn't as secure as I had hoped it was or thought it was when I put it where it was. And it had fallen over and had leaked out. And oh my Lord, if you've not ever smelled diff fluid, when you do, it smells like natural gas or boiled eggs or rotten eggs or whatever. And I found the culprit. So yay, it wasn't a gas leak anywhere. Yay, I'm not going to die because I've succumbed to noxious fumes.
Just stop when you get in the middle of it. Try to anchor yourself in the middle of it. I'm going to take a picture.
All right. So a couple of things I wanted to point out when you're going into the Vicksburg National Military Park is, one, you can use your National Parks Pass to get in. Two, it is a pet-friendly park as long as you have your pet on a leash. You can't take your pet inside the theater or the buildings, of course, but along the park and stuff like that, you're able to take your pet. There is a self-guided drive-through tour. You can download the app and it'll narrate along the way and tell you about key spots, photo ops, that sort of thing. So if you're pressed for time or if you want to do it at your own pace, I recommend the self-guided tour. You can also hire a private guide. He is a local gentleman and very familiar with the area. He does a phenomenal tour. If you've got the time to spend like the day there, I would highly recommend that private guided tour. Two of my favorite stops along the way inside Vicksburg National Military Park is the Illinois Memorial, and you'll see some video of that where I'm singing because the acoustics in there are so amazing. Another one of my favorites was the USS Cairo. This is actually part of that ship is preserved, and you can check it out. You can walk on it, no climbing, but you can walk in there, check it out. They've also got a little museum that's right there next to it. Highly recommend this park if you've got the time. You need at least 3 hours for a good drive-through tour for yourself. We did the Cliffs Notes version because we came late in the day, and we busted through there in about an hour and a half. So you can do it quickly if you're pressed for time, but I would say give yourself at least 3 or 4 hours to have a nice visit there. Look at this amazing memorial. Mr. Chase would love to bring the choir in here. The acoustics are insane. And look at this floor. Oh, wow. Wait, I gotta do that again. Please join us next time as we move into Oklahoma and Texas. Pick up our third Lady Overlander and set our sights on the majestic desert landscapes of the Wild, Wild West. The Girls Only Overlanding series is brought to you in part by iCamper, our personal favorite for rooftop tents, Extreme Jeeps and Trucks in Orlando, Florida, RCI Jeep and 4x4 in Melbourne, Florida, and by Star Jeep in Abilene, Texas.